Hi, I'm Laia, I'm a graphic designer and branding specialist, and I'm here to help you start your design journey today. So you clicked on this video because you want to know everything you need to become a graphic designer this year. So I'm going to break it all down for you, from useful equipment, free resources, my favorite tools, how to get clients, and more. So without further ado, let's dive right in. I'm gonna start with equipment, and I really want to make it clear that you don't need the fanciest equipment or the most expensive one to become a graphic designer. I personally just use two things. First is my MacBook Pro, which I have to admit I recently bought because my old laptop was giving me so many problems, and I'm gonna leave the specifications and the exact models of everything that I mentioned here in this corner and in the description of the video, just if you're curious. But anyways, I use my MacBook for pretty much anything, from design to editing to handling my business, personal things, and pretty much everything in between. And then I also have my iPad and my Apple Pencil, which are honestly the best purchase I made. It makes designing and making illustrations much easier. And if you're a writing things down person just like me, this is gonna be so useful because it's portable and it's just like a notebook and a laptop. So I do bring this with me everywhere, but if you don't really do a lot of illustrations or you are on a very tight budget, I don't think this is necessary. Just purchase a notebook and you'll be fine. And then having these two with my iPhone is amazing because I use AirDrop a lot to share my designs, videos, and other things from my laptop to my phone or vice versa. So I highly recommend having some sort of ecosystem that works for you, but without the need to purchase a whole lot of equipment just for the sake of it. And then two things that are kind of random, but I really recommend you to get. The first one is this little gadget here. This is basically a laptop stand. It's like 10 euros on Amazon, and it really helps my back. So if you're spending a lot of time in front of your screen, and if you have horrible posture just like me, this is gonna save your neck. And then something that I also really like is this little thing. This is like a portable ring light. It's actually very useful. You can like adjust the amount of light that you want to get. And then one of my favorite things is that you can actually clip it on your laptop or your phone. So if you don't have a lot of light in your room or you're having client meetings, you can just stick this in front of your laptop and it's gonna make such a difference. Starting with my favorite tool, which is not necessarily a design tool, it's Notion. I use it to organize my personal life, my whole design business. I also use it as a project management tool for managing my projects and my client communication. I use it as my social media planner, as my finance tracker. It's honestly like my second brain. It's fully customizable and it's free, so I highly recommend you check it out for managing anything. And then going from free to paid, I also use the Adobe Suite or the Creative Cloud, which gives you access to Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and a lot of different tools, but I really only use Illustrator and Photoshop. And even though it's very expensive, I do think it's a great system and it's honestly what most designers use. And my favorite platform other than Notion, I also use Figma. It's free and it's honestly one of the best tools ever. I use it for my client deliverables, for my presentations. I have all of my social media posts and social media templates there. I also use it to prototype websites, and it's a very versatile tool, so I really recommend it. And then another tool that I also use, mainly because some of my clients use it, so I have to make templates there, it's Canva. I know many designers hate it, but if you're starting out, it's a very intuitive tool, it's free, and you have a lot of templates that you can customize there, so I also recommend it. And then moving to my iPad, I want to recommend 3 apps. First one is Procreate. I've been using Procreate for years for drawing illustrations, drawing in general, making mind maps, drawing on images. You can also animate there. And even though it's not a free app, I think that the $15 or $20 that it costs is so worth it. And then another one of my most used apps is GoodNotes. I've been using it since I was in school for taking notes and just making mind maps, but I now use it for my planner. I write my random thoughts there, and if you like writing things down, I think it's a very useful app. It's like having a notebook you can erase and modify, so I feel like that's a very useful tool. And then the third app that I want to share is a free app if you have an iPad or an iMac, called Freeform. Not a lot of people use this, but I started using it for like personal things and mind maps, and it's actually really cool. I think it's like a GoodNotes meets FigJam, but like in the best way possible. So if you're looking for a free alternative, it is also great. So moving on to typography, which is one of my favorite topics, I source my fonts from different places, some of them paid, some of them free. So I'm going to share with you my favorite ones. First of all, Google Fonts. It's amazing, it's free. You can even write like a sentence or a word to see how the typeface would look in it. Prefaces is also great for more fun or different fonts, and it's free. There's also the font, which has paid and free options. They have a lot of options, you can filter them. Off-type is good as well, but my favorite one without a doubt is Envato Elements. I pay the subscription because I feel like it's the best website or platform there to get anything. You can get many fonts, mockups, presets, video resources, like you can get pretty much anything. And even though it's not super cheap, it's also not expensive, so the value you get is amazing. All in all, if you have a bit of money, I would definitely invest in Enviro Elements. I love mockups because I feel like it's the best way to showcase your work and for the client to imagine how the design would look like in real life. But sometimes it can be so hard to find good mockup sites. So I'm gonna tell you my favorite ones, other than obviously Enviro Elements, which I talked about previously. I use Minimal Mockups to source minimal and free mockups. I also use Unblast, which is free. Creatum is also very nice. They have both paid and free options, but there's like a lot of options. Mockup World has also free resources, and then Mr. Mockup, which has also amazing mockups. And I'm gonna include Pactora here, even though it's not necessarily just for mockups. This site is really helpful if you're into packaging design because it allows you to fully customize the sizes and the shape of any package. It gives you the die lines, you can do like the 3D model and export the 3D mockup. So it's all in all, it's really amazing. For pictures and videos and just like sounds in general, other than CapCut, which I use it for editing videos and stuff, I also use Unsplash and Pexels to source all of my videos and my images because they're royalty free and they're completely free to use. So these are amazing websites. And then for videos, I also use Motion Array, and I think it's called Artlist, which also has music and sound effects. For inspiration, other than Behance and Pinterest, which are everyone's go-to, I like to use this site called cosmos.so, which is like Pinterest because you can also organize all of your designs into files, but it's less used, so there's a lot of like new designs there. I also use same.energy, in which you can search for a specific like type of images, and then it shows you very cohesive imagery. And then I also like are.na and just getting outside to get inspiration. Oh, and except for Behance, which comes with the Adobe subscription, all of these websites are free. I recently splurged in physical books because I find that's a very good way to find inspiration, and just to have them physically on your house, it's amazing, and it also serves as decorations. Palette Perfect has amazing color palettes and like real case examples, so it's really beautiful. Designing Brand Identity, which is like the holy grail for brand designers and strategists. It gives you tons of examples, real cases. It gives you a lot of theory and like the reason behind a lot of things. It tells you about strategy, about design, and gives you case studies. The Elements of User Experience is great for UX and UI designers and also for marketers. And then also Designing Interfaces, I really like that one. And then these two I don't have and I haven't read, but everyone keeps talking about them. The Anatomy of Type and Grid Systems. Now let's talk about one of the most important aspects of becoming a successful graphic designer, which is getting clients. For me, my first step was building a solid portfolio that showcases my skills and my design style, and also something that reflects the type of work that you want to do. If you don't have any real clients, you can start with passion projects or with redesigns of already existing brands. And something that I really recommend is putting on your portfolio only the projects that one, you're proud about, and two, projects that you want to do in the future. So if you don't really like bold colors, don't put a project that has bold colors in it because you'll attract that type of client. And then once you have a solid portfolio, you can promote it on platforms like Dribbble, Behance, or social media. I'll leave my handle here so you can check out mine. And social media is actually great to showcase your work, your skills, and then also build a community and attract potential clients. Networking is also key, so start by reaching out to local businesses or startups that need promotional materials or a brand identity. And I recommend that you visit them in person and that you offer specific insights on how to make the brand identity or their materials better, because it creates more trust and like a personal connection. And many businesses, especially if they're small, they really appreciate that personal touch and that connection. Another tip is to never underestimate the power of cold emails. Make them personal, explain specifically how you're gonna make their business grow or how you can improve the business. And so I really recommend that you send emails, but they need to be concise, clear, and actionable. And then finally, always encourage word of mouth, especially by offering a great service to your clients, or you can even offer some incentives. So if someone recommends you, you give them a fee or you give them something in return. Because the more approachable and visible that you are, the more clients you'll get. I wanted to finish the video by talking about the whole debate on if it's necessary that you study graphic design in order to be a designer. And the answer is no. I don't think you really need to study graphic design in order to have a design career and be successful. Some of you may know that I didn't study graphic design. I actually studied international marketing and business, so I have a lot of knowledge in the strategic part. And so I feel like that's something very positive for my clients because I offer design services, but I also offer marketing consulting and strategy. And I also try to incorporate all of my marketing and business knowledge into my designs and into my brand identities. So instead of looking at it as something bad, I actually see it as something very positive. And yeah, just studying something different than design will give you a lot of knowledge into other areas or into other types of processes that you can later incorporate in your business. So with that said, I do believe that you need some sort of training in design. It can be free, like YouTube videos, or paid, like courses, mentorships, books, like whatever, because you need to know the basics of design or the design principles, colors, hierarchy, contrast, and all of those things. But it's definitely not necessary to have any formal training like school to get a career and be successful. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it and you found it useful. And if you want to follow along my journey, be sure to subscribe to my channel and follow me on my social media. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!